Hi there, my name's Kayla and I'm the Health Promotion Coordinator at CMHA Sudbury Manitoulin.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and I am the mental health educator with CMHA Sudbury Manitoulin.
So, whether you're feeling mentally well or struggling with your mental health, we think everyone will benefit from learning about the difference between mental health and mental illness and how to stay mentally healthy. So, mental health continuum is a range having mental health and mental illness at the two extreme ends. Depending on the internal and external factors of a person at any time, they can lie at one point of the continuum and shift positions as the situation improves or deteriorates.
So, some definitions before we jump into it. Mental health is considered personal and subjective. It doesn't have a clear definition, but it includes how we think, feel, behave, and how we relate to others and the world around us. It's not about being happy all the time, but how we deal with our emotions in healthy ways. Mental health concerns are common struggles and difficulties that affect everyone from time to time. This includes sadness, grief, loss, frustration, among many others. And then mental illness is a diagnosable condition that usually requires treatment. It's simply an impairment in functioning. In the model that we'll share with you, you'll see that it's not a life sentence and it's a continuum.
So, this is called the keys model, and it shows this range and how people can lie in different quadrants. So, on the horizontal axis, you can see serious mental illness on the left and no mental illness symptoms on the right. And if we look at the vertical axis, you can see optimal mental health on the top and poor mental health on the bottom.
So if we look at the top left quadrant first, people in this quadrant have a high sense of well-being despite living with a mental illness. A mental illness can include anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia, for example. Mental illness doesn't mean the absence of mental health. It merely implies that the person at that moment lies at one end of the continuum. If we move to the top right, this is the ideal state of functioning because you can see someone in this quadrant experiences happiness with no mental illness.
And now looking at the bottom, so if we look at the bottom right, someone here may feel grief or unhappiness, but doesn't have any noticeable mental health disorder. They are mentally unwell, but not ill. And then shifting to the bottom left quadrant, so someone in this area has mental illness, for example, anxiety, and they also have poor mental health. This could be for a variety of reasons, such as they don't have a family doctor, they feel like they don't have enough support or people that they can lean on.
So this was just one model, but we can think of this in many different ideas. So the Keys model, the person who discovered or started this, his last name was Keys, but he also talked about two other terms called languishing and flourishing. So languishing is a sense of stagnation and emptiness. It's a feeling as if you're muddling through your days, looking at your life through a foggy windshield. There was a really great article by the New York Times that was written during COVID, and they described languishing as the neglected middle child of mental health. You're in this void between depression and flourishing. It's the absence of well-being, but you don't have a mental illness. And you're not the picture of mental health either. It's a really weird place and usually a very uncomfortable place to be in. It dulls your motivation, disrupts your ability to focus, and it can lead to less productivity. However, flourishing, on the other side of it, is the peak of well-being. Some people describe it as having high levels of emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Flourishing people are happy and satisfied and tend to see their life as having a purpose.
So on the screen, you will see some different examples of the three different areas of well-being and something we should all be striving towards to reach flourishing.
In this model, you'll see social well-being. And one of the examples in there is social contribution. This could mean volunteering in your community and feeling like you're part of something greater.
In the flourishing model, we also see emotional well-being. So this includes happiness. So for example, nurturing relationships and investing time in them, replaying and savoring the joys in your life, being grateful, for example.
So for the psychological well-being, this can include personal growth. So maybe you seek out new experiences that challenge how you think about yourself and the world around you. Having purpose in life might include having strong goal orientation and feeling like you aren't aimlessly wandering through life. And then another example is self-acceptance, having positive attitudes about yourself and liking most aspects of your personality.
So, as a take home message, we really want to emphasize that mental well being begins with a strong relationship to the self. So, a healthy and happy person always feels safe to be around themselves. Acknowledging the presence of any tension, worries, or overwhelming emotions can really go a long way in developing a deeper and more meaningful connection to the self.
So, the key takeaway of the mental health continuum is that human minds are always moving. We have the potential to drive ourselves from the negative to the not so negative, and finally, the positive end of the continuum.
The mere transformation that happens during this shift can change our mindset and fill us with positive life energy. So let us use the continuum to know ourselves, listen to ourselves, and push ourselves towards a happier and more content life. Thank you.